Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back from the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community on the planet. It's Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, September 13th. Hope you're well. We're going to get started with today's live stream momentarily. Normally, I do these for private Pow Group members who are paid members and who have subscriptions, either on the gold, silver, or the VIP membership. But today, I figured I would do a live stream for public as well because it's been a while. I've had a really busy week as well. So I wanted to come on and didn't have a whole lot of time today. So I wanted to kind of get two birds stoned at once. But going to get started here in about a minute or so. We'll give it a little bit more time for people to join us. But share the video with anybody that can jump on last minute. I would appreciate it if you could smash the like as well. Help support me in the channel. But just sit tight. We'll get started here in about a minute. All right, see we have quite a few people joining us. Welcome, welcome. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. We're going to get started here in about 30 seconds. We'll just give it another minute or so. I know there was unannounced live stream, so we'll give it another little bit for people to join us. See we have some people joining, so welcome, welcome. We'll get started here shortly. All right, folks, going to get started with today's live stream. This is now a public live stream. Like I said at the beginning, for those of you that are just joining us, normally these are for private Pow Group members. Say that 5 times fast. But today I wanted to come on and make this public. So generally what I do is for anybody who's a paid member on the gold, the silver, or the VIP membership, there's a private chat room where I spend 90 to 95% of my time. We've got about 50 members in that chat room. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I usually do these live streams for Pow Group private members, so it's private to them only. But today I wanted to make it public because there's been a lot going on in the markets, and I just haven't had a whole lot of time to get videos out. Actually in the process of potentially buying another condo. It'll be my 3rd condo in 2 years, just under 2 years. And actually might be looking at a 4th condo. So life's been busy. I'm also expecting to be a father. So lots keeping me busy. Just got back from PEI visiting friends and family. So wow, it's been a couple of weeks to say the least. So, and then everything with MJ stocks up 100%. You can just imagine that everything's just been blowing up. But today is Wednesday, September 13th. Happy Hump Day. Hope you're well. We're going to get into the market update. So we'll do a review. Usually I go live about 30 minutes before the market closes and before it opens as well. But I've been dialing that back a little bit with everything that's been going on. Usually I do it Monday to Friday, 30 minutes before the stock market opens and then 30 minutes before it closes. But things were sort of dropping off there in terms of activity. So I was doing it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and just the afternoon before the market closed. But I'm going to be looking to resume the regular schedule soon. So that's just kind of a rundown. If anybody does have any ticker requests, please let me know the ticker and the exchange. That would be greatly appreciated. Also, make sure to give Group Pow a follow on X, formerly Twitter. So the handle for that is @GroupPow. And you can follow Pow Group there. I'm going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. Also, be sure to check out the Pow merch store. There's a 10% off sale right now. You can use code POWG420 and you can get 10% off. I already got close to 20 orders. So I can't believe, honestly, that I've had that much just response and support. I really do love each and every one of you, and I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. But yeah, I put a lot of time into this and hired a graphic designer, and it's looking really, really good. I actually just bought the Team XRP hoodie today, and I bought the Team Tilray t-shirt and this Team Tilray hat. So pretty excited for that. I already bought the mug and a bunch of other stuff too. So a lot of that came, and I think you see me wear the hoodie or whatever last time, but you can check that out, get your merch, and it helps support the channel. But we'll take a look at the broader market here at the moment. And as well, if you just go to the About tab, that'll give you all the links. So if you go down here, these are all the links, POW Merch, our website, and then all their affiliates. So these are all the platforms and services and devices and products that I use each and every day that are vetted, trusted links. And I will get a kickback if you do use those links. But Wealthsimple's giving away $40 to $1,200. If you sign up with my link, you could get between $40 and $1,200. So that's pretty sweet. I think that's going for like another week or so. But we'll take a look at the crypto space here. So at the moment, lots of names in 15-minute downtrends. XRP, there's some news that they're going to be potentially, Ripple is going to be potentially announcing some news at the end of this month. They're going to be, there's a party scheduled in New York on the 29th, I believe it is, of September. And they're going to be at a conference, I think the week before it is. So they're probably going to announce something before then, and there's lots of speculation that they could settle with the SEC post-judgment, and that they could announce an IPO and another partnership. They've just acquired another company as well, and this could bring in a lot of institutional ownership. But mark my words, XRP and Ripple's going to probably be one, if not the top three most valuable companies on the planet in the next 5 to 10 years, if not the most valuable centralized company. XRP, the digital asset that's decentralized, and it's a virtual currency that's governed by no one and would trade no matter what. Even if Ripple went away, if Ripple the company went away, XRP would continue to trade. XRP is probably going to make more millionaires, in my opinion. Not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Obviously, don't buy anything because I say or write anything. But I think XRP is going to create more millionaires than any other asset on the planet. So taking a look at Bitcoin here at the moment, I did have a request from a POW Group private member to look at Bitcoin, so we'll dive into it a little bit more in detail here in just a moment. But it is a daily inside bar, so we have a tightening range. We have the high of the bounce there at 26,556 and support at 25,120. So it's just a tightening range and inside bar. We could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. And this is usually what happens. We had this big move. We had a daily bear flag that was potentially playing out with a target of about 23K. And then we negated that with a break above the 0.32 fib there at 26,919. But it ended up being a nasty bull trap. And then we actually started to see that continuation to the downside. But that's generally what happens before a big move to the upside. People get shaken out. They think, we're going another leg down. And it's just, that type of capitulation bottom where you get you have a bull trap followed by a bear trap, and then you see a real explosive move. And I would expect over the next couple of months we could potentially get a spot Bitcoin ETF, and we could even get multiple. There's also 21 Shares ARK Invest is looking to get a spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF, spot ETF. So there's lots of things that could happen here into the end of the year. So taking a look here now. On the weekly time frame, we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross, though, adding to the bear case. And if we take a look at the monthly time frame, we're monthly consolidation for month 2 in a row. So what does consolidation mean? It just means we're losing the low of the previous candle. It could be weekly consolidation, meaning we're losing the low of the previous weekly candle, right? Whatever time frame it is. But we have support here at 24,750. So if we lose 24,750, we're likely heading down to 20,000 psychological, and then support there at 19,568. But as long as 24,750 holds, we're still extremely strong in a monthly uptrend with the low, high, higher low, and higher high. So as long as that holds, no major red flags or chart damage at all. And we could still see a monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. So I think leading into the end of the year here, we're probably going to see a massive move. And risk on assets, look at MJ over the last couple of weeks, right? Up like CGC up almost 500% off the lows. This is what we want to see. And then also Congress still being yet to be banned from owning stocks, right? So what I've been saying for months now, screaming from the rooftop, saying that we're probably going to see a massive move in the broader market in the S&P 500. And then into the end of the year, watch for Congress getting banned from owning stocks. That's going to mark the top. At that point, the Federal Reserve and lawmakers will not be able to own stocks. There'll be no reason to prop it up, and they'll have every reason to knock it down. And they'll just use shell companies and all that kind of manipulation, right? We can't have fair and orderly markets. That's the exact opposite of what the SEC is designed to do. But it's almost like they got their mission statement the opposite, right? Someone didn't tell them that it was fair and orderly. Oh, I thought it was unfair and unorderly. Oh, okay, our mistake, right? So we know that this is just the elites playing their financial wizardry, and it's all manipulation. No matter what anybody tells you, this is all planned. All the media is all bought and paid for, right? They're all owned by billionaires, right? And they control the narrative, right? So watch for Congress being banned, but I think that we could get a spot Bitcoin ETF approved, and we could see a massive move that could even bring us back to all-time highs, if not new all-time highs. I think 70, 80,000 is very possible on that news peaking. And then when they launch the ETF, they'll use that as exit liquidity. Everybody and their dog will be able to buy Bitcoin through their regular stock brokerage, right? And in their retirement savings accounts or their 401ks, and then they'll launch that ETF, and then it'll probably be at all-time highs, and then they'll crash it because everybody will be like, oh, I'm going to buy Bitcoin through the ETF, and then they'll buy the top, and then they'll crash at 80, 90%, right? So now's the time to buy now, and buy the rumor, sell the news, right? So now would be the time to buy if you're looking to load up, in my opinion, not after or when the ETF goes live, right? But again, not financial advice. This is informational and entertainment purposes only. But into the end of the year, very, very bullish on Bitcoin and a lot of our altcoins as well. SPY, daily consolidation today. We are at risk of a daily downtrend if we lose 442.75, which means zoom out to the weekly time frame and look for weekly consolidation. It's a weekly inside bar as well. So again, if we lose that, we would start weekly consolidation, and we could potentially confirm a weekly downtrend here with the high, low, lower high, and lower low, but still a long ways away from that happening. And in order to confirm the weekly downtrend, we would need to lose 433, and then that would indicate monthly consolidation. When you change a trend, you zoom out to the higher level time frame, and you either look for a bounce or consolidation. In this case, it's a downtrend, so it's consolidation. If it was an uptrend, it would be a bounce, right? Meaning it's breaking the high of the previous candle. So it's a monthly inside bar as well. So lots of inside bars and tightening ranges, monthly inside bar, weekly inside bar, and daily inside bar today. And we just barely broke yesterday's low, but we're back within that range from yesterday. We didn't lose it by much. DXY is also very interesting. So we're bumping our head there at 105. This could be our temporary top. Look at that weekly time frame for DXY, the dollar index, US dollar currency index. That move coming straight off the low there, it's like almost 5.5% for DXY for a currency like that. To do that for this US dollar index, to do that, like 5% is a lot, right? And there's been barely any weekly consolidation. There's been no support. So one would think we're probably going to fall back hard. So gear up for a potential hard and fast move in crypto and stocks to the upside. And DXY did confirm a monthly downtrend with the lower high and lower low, and we have a monthly bear flag. If we get over the 0.32 fib there at 106.46, that negates the monthly bear flag, and we would no longer be in a monthly downtrend. But as of right now, this thing is just cooling off, and we could be heading to monthly oversold after being at monthly overbought on the RSI. So watch for DXY to break down, and we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross there on DXY, which would give more bullish thesis, add to the more bullish thesis for stocks and crypto into the end of the year here. But you got to remember that Congress, that's going to be a big day, right? When Congress, and it might not happen the second they ban themselves. It could be a couple months after, a few months after, it could be 6 months, could be a year, who knows? But once Congress bans themselves, lawmakers can no longer own stocks, right? Nancy Pelosi makes $250,000 a year salary, and she's worth $120 million. Tell me how that works, right? Insider trading is how that works. She should be put behind bars in jail for the rest of her life. If you or I did that, we'd be in there for generations. So yeah, these people need to either A, go to jail, or be banned from owning stocks. A monkey could tell you that. But I knew that, based on our .com fractal, we were following it to perfection. And we had this monthly inverse head and shoulders. We were following it to perfection, but I expected, what happened here actually? Am I not on log scale? Where do we go here? There we go. Not sure how that happened. But yeah, based on the .com fractal, which I took, right? I expected us to deviate because the RSI peaked in 1996, and then the price peaked 4 years later. Then we went to monthly oversold. Look what happened here. RSI peaked in 2018. 4 years later, price peaked. Then we were heading to monthly oversold. But I expected us to deviate from that, and I took this fractal, which is just from here to here in the blue bars, and I expected us to deviate because back here, the Federal Reserve wasn't printing trillions of dollars and buying stocks. Here they were. So I expected them to deviate, and then the Fed banned themselves here. They didn't ban themselves here. They didn't ban themselves here. They didn't, right? They didn't ban themselves here. They banned themselves at the tippity top, right? Because they're crooks and they should be in jail. And now, what do you think Congress is going to do? Why didn't they ban themselves here? Because they're crooks as well and should be in jail. So they're going to want to sell here, right? Nancy Pelosi is going to want to sell here, and then there'll be absolutely no reason for them to prop it up anymore. So when that comes out, mark my words, when we see that Congress is being banned from owning stocks, which I'm like 99% sure it's going to happen, then within the next few months, I think we're going to crater, and we're probably going to take 5 years to bottom out while we go to monthly oversold. There's even some people who are saying they're calling for the lost decade, which means we're never going to hit a new all-time high in the S&P 500 for about 10 years, which could happen, right? Could take us, a few years to fizzle out and find a bottom, and then, 5 years recovery. So that would make sense. But I mean, from the lows of March 2020 there, we were up 125%. The annual return of the S&P 500 is about 12%. So we got 10 years worth of gains condensed into 2 years. Where do you think we're going to go? Now we're back up to all-time highs. Imagine if this was just like some big cup and handle as well. And we came down, formed a cup and handle, and went to like 600 and just got absolutely stupid, and then pulled back all the way to like 250, right? That could happen. But we do have hidden bearish RSI divergence with lower highs and lower lows, and then we're back up with higher highs, and it's not the most clear here, but one thing that was super clear was like Tesla, for example. And again, if people don't think technical analysis matters, they either A, don't know how to use the tools, haven't studied it long enough, or don't understand that technical analysis isn't a crystal ball. It's not a guarantee. It's probabilities, which means it could go either way. There's no guarantee. It's just if there's 8 out of 10 indicators saying up, you're probably going to expect up. If there's 8 out of 10 indicators that are saying down, you're going to probably assume the most likely scenario is down, right? And then look at Tesla. It had lower highs, lower lows, and then we had higher lows and higher highs on the price action. So that was very obvious. And we also had a death cross with the 50-day moving average crossing through the 200-day. So again, there was like 5 major indicators on Head and Shoulders as well that played out to perfection on Tesla. So again, when 5 major indicators that are, pretty much 90% accurate, right, and playing out, the odds say that 90% of the time we go down from here or go up from here. When 5 of those major indicators were saying that on Tesla, that added more confidence that we were likely going to see a drop. And I said that we were probably targeting about $85. Look where we hit, 101. We came within 16%. And that was just the measured move of the Head and Shoulders, right? You take the high to the low and you move that out to the neckline. And we came very, very close. We almost hit monthly oversold there. So in terms of individual tickers today, we have CLOV, SPCE, and NEXE on the decline. We have MVMD, AMC, and BlackBerry leading the bull list today. Jump into MJ, and then we'll look into the chat, and I'll do any kind of ticker requests. I'll start with Powell Group private members first, and if we have time, we'll do the public. So let's take a look at Canadian MJ here first. So I've been saying for a while that Canadian MJ was super strong, and it looked a lot stronger, and a lot of the moves started to happen in Canadian MJ, and then a lot of the names in the US started to run. And that obviously was because of Schedule 3 recommendation. But then I said as well that watch, guaranteed, they're going to say, oh, they're going to get some opposition. There's going to be some politicians, or there's going to be somebody in some kind of agency, whether it be DEA or whatever, that's going to say, hold your horses. This hasn't happened yet, and we oppose it, right? And that's exactly what happened yesterday. 15 Republicans basically said that they should keep it Schedule 1, right? And then everybody's like, oh, that's why CGC was down, from $2 to $1. Is because of that. It's like, no, if you understand technical analysis and the correlation to Tupperware, then you realize that we pretty much did the Tupperware move, right? So it's all about Tupperware. Not just kidding. I did that video yesterday. If you haven't seen that, the correlation to Tupperware, somebody on the live stream, forgive me, I can't remember. I wish I could give them credit, but thank you very much for pointing that out. And, I bought the dip down near 38 cents USD, and it's crazy how that played out, right? Like that was the correlation. That's the Tupperware move. And we did basically the same thing. And it was super correlated. And no, but my point is I'm just joking, but all jokes aside, we were up almost 5, off the low there at 38 cents, or what was it, 34 cents? 34 cents, yeah. So after 34 cents USD, it was up a little over 450%. So when everybody tells you, oh, the reason why CGC and stocks are down is because of the 15 GOP people that were opposed to it said to keep it Schedule 1. It's like, no, you dunce. we just ran 500%, and you don't think we're due for a cool off? Right? They just perfectly timed that to manipulate you. And I told you like 2 weeks ago when the news came out on that video from 2 weeks ago, it was a live stream when I was in PEI. I did this video, HHS. If you haven't seen that video, I literally streamed that 13 days ago, and I said in that video, watch, that's gonna happen. And the exact same thing happened. How did I know that was gonna happen? Because it's manipulation. The stock market is not fair. They are crooks. They should be put behind bars, and I'm probably gonna get shadow banned if I'm not already, but like, this is what people don't tell you, right? They say, oh, the headlines. It's like, oh, you're one of those that reads the mainstream media and thinks that that's what's going on here. No, this is technical, and we're still healthy. This is to be expected, right? Like, we're still massively bullish. Like, we barely even had a daily consolidation period there. Like, we did briefly, but I mean, this move really all coming off the low. Like, we only retraced 50%. And then, you know what they're going to do? They have the vote coming up on CGC on the 25th, a little under 2 weeks. They're going to do the share consolidation, the reverse split. Just because it gets passed on the vote doesn't mean it's going to actually happen. But they have until January 11th to regain compliance, 2024. And then they could even get another 6 months extension, right? So they're going to use this to play with people. And then what did they do? They ran it into that news yesterday from the 15 GOPs that said that they were opposed and should keep it Schedule 1. They run it hundreds of percent so people get FOMO. Then they time that perfectly with their Wall Street buddy friends, and then they tell them to run the press, and then they crash at 40%, right? Off of the high to the low, they were down over 46%. So that's what they do, right? The reason why they run it like that is because they know the bearish articles are coming, and they're just waiting for it to time, right? And anybody who tells you that the markets are not manipulated and this is just, chance or, this is just coincidence, no. Coincidence for the last 100 years. I've been studying financial markets for at least 15 plus years. And I've seen this in every industry, every stock, every crypto, every asset class. You're telling me that there's that many coincidences? Okay, well, yeah, okay. I'm not even going to try to make a joke because I don't need to. Like, if you don't understand that, I don't need to try to win your your vote or your opinion, because if you don't think that, then you're probably doomed to fail, because if you don't learn how to play the game, you can't beat them at the game. So you need to join them, right? You need to swim like the whales. If you're not a whale, be a dolphin or a fish or whatever, right? Like, you just need to put your pennies next to their dollars. But XLY, Cron, and WIB leading the bull list today. Bear list was ACB, CGC, and IMCC. Seen a ton of people the last couple of days saying, oh, how come Tilray's not up a bunch like ACB and CGC? Well, do you want their performance today? They're down 15 and 20%. At one point, they were down way over 20%. So, and then Tilray was only down like 2 or 3%, right, on the day. So the harder they run, the harder they fall, and they were beaten down more, right? CGC had a price target of $0. There was tons of people saying they're going bankrupt, which if they think that, then they clearly don't understand financial markets. If you're throwing around the B word that easily with CGC, with the assets they have, the brands they have, you clearly don't understand finance. And then ACV, okay, maybe, but their buyout target potentially, there's been some, their debt is really improving. I can't stand ACB as a stock. I personally despise it. I don't own it, but I don't knock anybody who does. There's plenty of reason to own it now, and they could even be a buyout target. But personally, I don't like the company, and I'll never own it. I might trade it or something like that, but I would never invest in it. There's just way too many other companies to invest in. But CGC, that move just wasn't believable, right? We knew it was unsustainable. We knew it was probably going to pull back 20, 30, 40%. And then sure enough, in the last 2 days, it was down almost 50%. Exactly what I said was going to happen in the last 2 videos that I posted on CGC. And it played out, right? It was just the most likely scenario. And I even said from my video yesterday to expect daily consolidation today, closing near the low, huge upper wick, and then we got daily consolidation, lost the low. Just from the low of yesterday to the low of the day today, we were down 21% almost. So, but yeah, it wasn't sustainable. The move on Tilray was a lot more sustainable because it's actually good business and great fundamentals. And yeah, CGC just was beaten down, so that's why it ran more. But we're seeing the rotation game, right? Case in point, we started to see a lot of profit taking in CGC and in Tilray, and then ACB yesterday was actually running to new highs while CGC was consolidating. And then today, it's just a rotation game, right? So today, it's Cron's turn. Look at Cron. Boom, right? It's breaking to a daily higher high while a lot of the other names are seeing daily consolidation. So it's just rotation, right? All these swing traders, day traders, it's the day trader paradise. They're gonna take profits on your TLRYs, your CGCs, and even some names maybe on the OTC for MSOS, some of the US names. And then they're gonna just keep going, right? And now Cron. Guess what? Guess who's gonna be next probably? Maybe not SNDL because it did see quite a bit of a move, but if we zoom out to the monthly time frame, look at SNDL. It's barely up at all off the recent low there. And 52-week low, it's only up 82% only. Cron off its local low there, it's up 55%. So now it's just playing catch up. High Tide off its low, 90%. And then look at CGC, right? From its low to where we are now, it's up almost 500%. So the next one, I think, VFF was another one that ran like crazy, and I mentioned that was a great opportunity to buy a load below $1. That's up 112%. So what name hasn't run yet? See if anybody can type it in. Who do you think might be the next in the Canadian names that might be due for a run? Let's see if anybody can guess it here. It will go back up. Yeah, so I got a lot of people. I'll jump into the chat here at the end. I don't have a whole lot of time today. That's why I made this stream public, because I'm not sure I'll get another video after the market close either. I got a lot of stuff. I'm potentially buying one. I'm pretty much sure I'm going to buy another condo, but I might buy two. So everybody gets a condo. You get a condo. I get a condo. OGI, there you go. Winner, 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 chicken dinner. Yeah, OGI. That's exactly what I was thinking. So look at OGI. Look at its move off the low there. And this is a great company. Right? Look at the move off the low there. It's only up 47%. So I would say OGI is going to explode. Yeah, Canadian, yeah. Yeah, OGI will run next is my guess. Yeah, 100%. That's what I was thinking too, because look, we're just starting the monthly bounce now. Look what happened to VFF when it started the monthly bounce. I said here, right? Monthly inside bar. I said once it breaks 68 cents, the monthly bounce is underway, and we have that means that we're going to do something that we haven't done in a whole year. 12 months of lower highs, every single candle lower than the previous one for a whole year. And we basically had no resistance up to $3.53. So as soon as we broke 68 cents, we did something. We broke a pattern we hadn't done in over a year. And then we saw from there, we saw 72% of upside. So OGI is doing the same thing. It's breaking the high of last month at 173. So we're starting the monthly bounce. If we break above 197, this thing's flying. Mark my words. You can enter, like if you're looking for a swing trade, again, not financial advice, this is for entertainment purposes only, but if we break, say, $2, you could set a stop buy it only if it breaks $2 USD. This thing could easily go back to EMA 12, which is about a 30% of upside, and then just to the price action, you're looking at about 157% of upside, and then EMA 26 rather, there at about 120% of upside. So yeah, I think good eye there, Jan Lucy. I think it's OGI that is going to be the next one to really run, and it's a good name, right? It's a good company. Bearing any unforeseen bearish news specifically to OGI, I can't see this company not exploding here over the next couple weeks and months. But yeah, I think it's due for a massive move, and then the rotation game just continues. But SNDL, it's only up about 80%, like CGC up almost 500%, right? So I think SNDL, OGI, BFF have a lot of potential. Love's another name, Canara, that I really like, or I really love. And yeah. What else? ACB. So ACB, once it started its monthly bounce, right? Look at how much it's up off the lows. 159%. So yeah, I think OGI going to be the next. In terms of USMJ, we have IN, CXXI, and CWeb leading the bull list. CWeb just got a new CEO today, or the CEO resigned. Let me just bring up the Power Group community here. Where'd it go? Charlotte's Web, yeah. Hemp CBD firm Charlotte's Web CEO replaces CEO after shareholders groups revolt. And this is all information that's mostly pulled automatically. Like I said, I have the MJ News, Commodity News. You can see these are all coming in. I have about 50 different news publishers that I fetch this from automatically. So I don't even have to check websites anymore. It's just all news in one-stop shop. So that's the benefit you get with the Power Group private community. Plus, I do these live streams on a mostly a daily basis before the market closes. I do ticker requests. I do research. I share my charts in there. I give my game plans. It's where I spend 90 to 95% of my time. And then, yeah, you can see here, I also just posted a thing from BNN here on Tilray Brands CEO. So Erwin Simon, Chair Executive Officer of Tilray Brands, joins BNN Bloomberg and discusses possibilities for the company that would emerge if the U.S. were to loosen MJ regulations. That was today at 11:40 a.m. If you haven't seen that, I'm going to be checking that out after. But yeah, I think Tilray is going to really run next too. They're not up that much compared to like CGC, and we'll see that rotation game. But yeah, on the bear list, we had BAM, FLGC, and SHWZ. BAM, look at that move off the low, 4.5 cents. I actually bought it. I think I got a little piece of it at around 5 cents. I think it filled it like 5 cents or like 5.5 cents. But off the low there, that one's up 250%. Great name, profitable, small, definitely a bio target. But look at the low there, 4.5 cents. If it goes back to all-time highs, that's 83x, $1,000 investment into 83,000. Most you can lose $1,000. Sky's the limit for the upside, right? So that's why this is why I'm so excited about MJ. I think MJ is going to be the best asset class, performing asset class over the next couple of years. But yeah, I think crypto is going to offer more potential for generational wealth because we're talking all the money, right? We're talking hundreds of trillions of dollars, and MJ will struggle to get to 1 trillion, right? We're literally talking about, like, just look up the derivative market, it's in the quadrillions, right? And then just all the Nostro Vostro accounts. Just look at how much real estate is worth, right? They're going to tokenize all that. It's literally all the money. All the money in the world is going to be on the blockchain eventually, and the use case is just ginormous. Cross-border payments, right? Trillions of dollars go cross-border every day, sending between countries. And that's what XRP is facilitating. So MJ, definitely my favorite horse in the race right now in terms of the next few years. But yes, I think crypto is going to be the vehicle for generational wealth. But that's why I cover both, right? Because I'm passionate about MJ, and about 80% of my content is regarding MJ, and then the other 20% is regarding crypto, right? I've got easily 10,000 hours into both. All right, so we did have some ticker requests. I'm going to get into those now. The stream will be a little bit longer today, but that is okay. So Chappie from the Power Group Private Community says, Bitcoin dead cross coming. I think that's what that typo says. I think that's a typo, DXY. Thanks. Okay, so I went over DXY already, and I went over Bitcoin briefly, but we'll bring Bitcoin back up again. So like I said, key support is coming up here at 24,750. If you're looking for an entry, you could enter off of that support with a stop just below, because you wouldn't want to be in if we lost that, because we're more likely going to head back down to 20,000 in a hurry. But we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, and we have, like I said, the biggest catalyst of our lifetime, probably with a spot Bitcoin ETF that could get approved, maybe multiple. And if that were to occur, we could see this EMA 12 and 26 bull cross play out, and we could easily head back to all-time highs. But personally, I'm not a big fan of Bitcoin. We still don't know who created it. They said there's the 4 Satoshis that met with Homeland Security. So the Homeland Security in the US said that they met with the 4 Satoshis, right? I thought it was a middle-aged man from Japan, right? Thought it was a 35-year-old male from Japan. Well, apparently not. Homeland Security doesn't want to talk about it, but they said that it's 4 people and they met with them. Interesting. But would you want to own Apple if you didn't know who the owner was or who created it? So why are people so just accepting to throw their hard-earned money into an asset like Bitcoin that no one knows who created it? It could be North Korea, it could be Russia, could be, it could be anybody. We just don't know. So I made my money off Bitcoin, but like I would never put a ton of money. I would never put like 6 figures into this thing. I would never put any more than like 5% of my net worth into this thing. But even if you did, if we went back to all-time highs here, that's only 177%. That means if you put $1,000 in, you'd only grow that by 177%, right? So like it wouldn't do anything. Like unless you're putting in $1 million and you're going to double your money and have 2 million, but like then you're risking 2 million, and this thing was at $1 at one point not too long ago. and then it went up to $70,000. So I don't know. I just think that there's a lot more better opportunities out there, and Bitcoin doesn't even really do anything. Like it's like the dial-up of the internet, right? What happened to dial-up? It went away. Does that mean Bitcoin's going to go away? No, but it could, right? And we still don't know who the creator is. There's just so many things that we just don't know. So I would just be very, very cautious with Bitcoin. And I mean, it's still at $26,000 USD, right? This thing was at $1, now 26,000. Even if it goes back to all-time highs, that's not even a 2x. I just don't think the risk or reward is there. And you hear a lot of people saying that they're selling Bitcoin to buy other altcoins like, XRP and a few others. I think XRP is by far the best thing to be owning here, but we'll keep it back on train with the Bitcoin talk. So we're right at support. But if let's say we go to 100K from current levels, if we go to 100K, you're looking at about just under 300%, 280%. So CGC did that in like a few days. Okay, so if Bitcoin goes from where it is now to up to 100, like this is just to put it into perspective. If Bitcoin goes from $26,000 to $100,000 per coin, that's 282%. Okay, so now let's look at CGC over the last couple of months. CGC from the low of 2 months ago is up 460%. So why would you focus on a name like Bitcoin when you could have bought CGC that's up 460% in 2 months, right? Look how long it took for it to hit all-time highs, right? It took from the low here, it was like 6 months, right? So in my opinion, there's just a lot of better opportunities out there, and specifically in the crypto space comparative to Bitcoin. So I'd be very, very cautious on that one, even with a potential spot Bitcoin ETF looming. Even if it goes to 100K, that's not that much life-changing wealth unless you're putting in $1 million and you're going to double your $1 million or triple your $1 million, but you're also risking $1 million. And what's your net worth? You shouldn't be investing any more than 10% into one asset class, I would argue, let alone one coin or one stock in that asset class, right? So yeah, unless your net worth is 20 million, 30 million, I can't see why you'd ever put $1 million into Bitcoin. And if you're not putting in a substantial amount of money into Bitcoin, what's the point, right? Because it might go up 100%, 200% to 100,000, 150,000. It's still not going to be life-changing wealth, but you can put it into XRP. XRP goes to $20, boom, a few thousand into, a few 100,000. But in terms of the weekly time frame here, and you said death cross. Yeah, we are potentially seeing a death cross with the 50-day above the 200-day good eye. But we just had the golden cross, and look what usually happens, right? Golden cross, death cross, big flush, big move, right? That's what you get, that bull trap, then bear trap, then that capitulation bottom, and then they run it, right? And then here, same thing, death cross, drop, golden cross, death cross, big drop, golden cross. Now they're just doing the same thing they did here, where it crosses. We might even see a little bit more of downside from here. We could go to that $20,000 area, maybe a flush of 20,000, get real extreme. And then this move here, same thing that happened here, follows here, right? So same thing that happened here, same thing that's happening here, happened here, and then this could likely come here, right? After maybe one more flush is what I would say. And like I said, I think end of October into November is when the markets are really going to start heating up, and where we could see DXY start to break down. And I already covered DXY. I'm not sure if you've seen that or not, but just real quick, try to keep it to one tick or two because I don't have that much time. But yeah, we are in a monthly downtrend and a monthly bear flag confirmed as well. So key resistance is going to be there at 106.46. If we lose that, we're no longer in a monthly downtrend and we're no longer a monthly bear flag. And but yeah, I think that we're heading to monthly oversold here. We could top out the next month or two on DXY, and yeah, it's looking pretty good. Here's the weekly time frame. We had the bear cross of the weekly moving averages on Bitcoin. Now we're gearing up for a potential bull cross of those moving averages, and we're holding the 50 weekly there at 24,275. So it's looking good. Again, if we lose 24,000, we're more than likely going to 20,000 in a hurry. But then that would just be a buying opportunity, in my opinion, for those that want to buy Bitcoin. But again, better opportunities out there, in my opinion. Taking a look at the Power Group private community. So you have another request from a Power Group member. GLD and SLV looks like weekly head and shoulders to me. Do you see it too? Take a look. Were you there, Reza? No problem. GLD. Weekly head and shoulders. Do you mean inverse head and shoulders? No, not really. I don't really see an inverse head and shoulders or a head and shoulders. Not very clear, right? If it was inverse, it'd be like, be something like this. But yeah, you could make the argument. It's a bit slanted, right? There, the neckline's slanted, so it's not as, usually you want to be like straight across. So it's not as believable, and we're seeing an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross here. But yeah, I mean, this could be an inverse head and shoulders. I wouldn't say it's a head and shoulders on the weekly time frame. I mean, you could make the case maybe here a little bit, but no, I'm not really seeing a head and shoulders. I wouldn't say that's the most accurate. A bit of a channel going on here. If you ignore the wicks there, a little bit of a wedge, but let's use the absolute candle there. So yeah, we could pull back down to like 174, 175 at the moment. I wouldn't say it's a head and shoulders though, no. But on the monthly time frame, it's not looking bad at all. We have the low, high, higher low, and higher high. We're looking for another higher low compared to the low here at 168.19, and we're holding EMA 12 here as support as well. And there seems to be a little bit of buying pressure here with some lower wicks. But we could be trending back down to EMA 26, very possible as well. But we're still no major red flags whatsoever. In terms of the daily time frame, we did confirm a daily downtrend with a high, low, lower high, and lower low. And then if we take our measured move there, it was a perfect bear flag. So we had the high, low, anything under the 0.382 fib there at 179 was a potential bear flag. And then you take the move from the low to the high and you move it out to the 0.382 fib. And it's saying we're targeting about 175, which is exactly what I just drew in the wedge. Funny how that works out, hey? Technical analysis, and people say it doesn't work because they don't understand how to use it or don't understand what it is meant to do. It's not a guarantee, it's probability. And yeah, not looking bad at all. On the weekly time frame, we're still struggling with that 10-week moving average. So if we can get a weekly candle close over 180, then things will start to heat up, in my opinion. But until then, we are seeing a bear cross too, potentially of these weekly moving averages. That is not good. So I'd be cautious on this one. And we're gearing up for a death cross as well, the 50 above the 200-day moving average. So I'd be careful. How are we doing for time? 42 minutes into the live stream. I do only have about 20 minutes or so left. So I'm not sure if I'll get to all the ticker requests in the public, but I wanted to get to the private because that's, like I said, that's what people pay for. And this is generally supposed to be a private live stream. So take a look at SLV. So SLV, yeah, we're seeing a bear cross of the stochastic. MACD cross bearish a while ago, and we're still below. Yeah, I think there's better plays out there right now than silver and gold, to be honest. We're seeing a bear cross on the weekly moving averages as well, which is bearish. Back into a bull cross though, so this thing's whipsawing. This thing's hard to say what this thing's going to do. Like I said, like you want to see a name with like 5 out of 6 or 8 out of 10 indicators that you like to use. Maybe it's golden crosses, maybe it's head and shoulders, maybe it's EMA bull crosses and bear crosses. Inverse head and shoulders, all these different, like all these ones that I use. I use the weekly, the daily, and the 10-week moving average and the stochastic and the MACD on the weekly when those bullish cross. So in this, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I use the EMA's 6 on the monthly, and then I look at patterns. So I usually have about 7 or 8 different indicators and patterns that I look for. And if 80% of those indicators are bullish and seeing bullish patterns, then I'm very bullish on it, right? And if 8 out of 10 are bearish, then I'm very bearish on it. And using those, and I'm creating a more advanced course to kind of go over this. If you go to palgroup.ca or pursuitwealthgroup.com, click on Academy, you can do the free course one, but that one's more for like psychology and entry into markets for newer people. But even if you're a year, 2, 3, 5 in, it's still got great stuff in there. And it's crypto and stocks, but you can go through it and it's free. Or so now I changed it. It's no longer free. It's $9.99. It was free for like 2 years, and then I just changed it to $10 because I made it free for the first 2 years. And yeah, so that's $9, and then I'm going to be coming out with a more advanced one to kind of give people this breakdown of how to put it into your charts, and then what indicators I like to use and look for to see. And then we also have the POW algo alert, buy alert signals that send email and in the private POW group community. And then also via email, early buy and sell signals as well. And that's an algorithm that I proprietary built, and it's basically based on a lot of these factors that I use, but you can do it manually as well if you want. And like I said, I'll be teaching that in my more advanced course. But yeah, I just, this one's too hard to predict right now. It could go either way. Like there's no clear cut technical analysis that's like, oh, this is one of the most bullish charts out there. I think the metals are a little bit weak. I would say crypto's looking a little bit better, and that could be because the spot Bitcoin ETF is looming, and there could even be multiple approved at the same time. Grayscale going through its lawsuit right now as well. So yeah, I think that would take the spotlight off of metals, precious metals, right? And then maybe when Bitcoin starts to top out and goes into a bear market, then we start to see gold shine. And then when the dollar collapses, which I'm pretty sure it will in the US, they're going to probably create a new system backed by gold and a bunch of other stuff, right? They'll have a basket of things, right? Different commodities, different current, maybe like some cryptos as well. But I pretty much anytime any fiat currency or any currency has failed, the governments and sovereign nations around the world, so they usually reset it with gold, right? Like 99 times out of 100, if not 100% of the time, right? So that would increase gold. Plus, Russia's adding to their gold reserves. Everybody's adding to their gold reserves. China. So I think gold is going to really shine in the next depression or recession. I think we're in a recession, but it's going to get worse, and I think we could be entering a depression over the next few years. And I think that's when it's going to be time to hold gold and silver as well. But like I said, certain cryptos as well look a lot more bullish. But yeah, I think that's all we have from POW Group private members. So I do only have about 15 minutes left, so we'll get to as many in the POW Group private or the public community here on YouTube as we possibly can. High Tide, yeah, we can take a look at High Tide. It's opening a ton of stores too in Ontario, all over the place. So yeah, High Tide off of the low there is now up 85%. We're getting above EMA 12. What did I say on a lot of my videos recently? Names are all starting to trend back to EMA 12, that yellow line, exponential moving average on the 12 period. Tilray did it, and now a ton of other people are following. VFF was very close, SNDL very close, and then a name like High Tide, people were like, oh, how come we're just going sideways for 4 or 5 months or 6 months, half a year? Well, as soon as we break that monthly previous candle, we're probably going to go back to EMA 12. So even if you just entered here on a break of 135, you would have seen a gain of about 42%. And here we are gunning to EMA 26. And we could see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross over the next few months. But what I would more than likely expect is for us to top out soon, form a monthly higher low, and then a higher high, because we still haven't confirmed a clear monthly uptrend yet. And we also had that bear flag that was targeting. We had a fallen wedge that broke bullish here too. So if we take the measured move from the low to the high, it's real rough. I'm definitely not putting a whole lot of time into this. But look at that. Said we were going to $2 and we hit 192 measured move. So again, people who tell you technical analysis doesn't work and it's all coincidence and whatever, it's like, okay, yeah, there's a lot of coincidences in the world. If that's the case, then okay. If technical analysis is spotting coincidences and they happen like every day, all right, I like coincidences and I like technical analysis. I don't give a shit what you say. Excuse my French. But yeah, so many people commenting, oh, technical analysis is garbage. It's like, no, you don't know how to use it. And the way you perceive it or use it is garbage, right? So yeah, like what does Warren Buffett or anybody tell you when they buy something? They never buy anything before they look at a chart. What is a chart? Technicals. It measures emotion. And guess what has never changed in hundreds of years? Human emotion. Because people always feel greed. They always feel FOMO, fear of missing out. And they always feel fear. And that's all it is. It's just playing on emotions. So yeah, we have resistance coming up there on the price action at 223. EMA 26 at 244. And we get very close to monthly oversold there on that lower wick there on the monthly time frame back in March. Weekly time frame. So I said Tilray, Stochastic, and MACD going parabolic, blasting off into space, got above the 10-week moving average, all systems go. And I said, watch for other names to follow suit, rotation, right? And then here we go, High Tide did the same thing, just took a little while to see it, because then the rotation begins, right? And now High Tide's seeing the same thing. I'm very bullish on High Tide long term. I own it, I shop at it. That's pretty much the only retail location I shop here in Edmonton, Alberta. I would say they get 99% of my money that it goes towards MJ. Absolutely love it. One of the best run companies, and revenue just continues to grow, and we could be heading to that 248, which is there at the 100 weekly. And then on the daily time frame, we could see a golden cross here over the next couple of weeks even. Yeah, this thing's looking real good. Oh man, I'm excited for the end of the year. I'm excited for the next couple years in MJ. I'm excited for everybody else to get these gains, and then for people who are down a lot, right, which is probably 90% of the retail market. I'm excited for you to get back your losses. If you didn't sell, you didn't lose anything. But if you sold, then you did lose it. But maybe you rebought. But everybody's situation is different. But I'm excited for everybody in the space here into the end of the year. But again, same thing happened when we were down here on high tide. A lot of our names were gearing up for golden crosses, and a lot of our names were getting above their 200-day moving average. Same thing with Tilray. Tilray was getting above its 200-day moving average, seeing a golden cross, and then it was just a matter of time before high tide did it as well. So again, that's why, like, if you're only, I see tons of people are so tribalistic. It's like, oh, high tide's the only thing worth owning, or sell all your Hexo and buy high tide, or sell all your Tilray and buy True Leave, right? It's just like, you can own more than one MJ stock. Like, I own 15. Why do we have to be so tribal? There's going to be more than enough playground for these all to play at the same playground, right? And I want all boats to rise together, right? So I own like 15 different MJ stocks, a mix of Canadian producers, US producers, retailers in the US and Canada. I've got ETFs in the US and Canada, right? And then that way you're not losing your ever-loving mind when CDC is up 500% and high tide's only up 80% or something, right? You own all of them, and you're like, oh, okay, I have more in this one, but yeah, I'm not feeling FOMO anymore. Right? So it's all into the psychology of the market and knowing yourself and how you react emotionally, right? I don't feel FOMO at all. When CGC was up 500% the other day, some people were like, why didn't I buy the dip? And I was like, I bought the dip. I had a plan. Did you have a plan? Right? I'm not saying like I know everything and, go me. I'm just saying I had a plan. Most people don't have a plan, right? And what did I say too? I said, we're leading into August recess. We have potential recommendation coming up, our year anniversary from October when Biden called on HHS to review it, and safe banking looming. Wouldn't it be typical of market makers and manipulators to run it during the August recess and rate, as we went into August recess, rate coming out of that on August 30th, right? When everybody's, in the summertime too, they're golfing, they're outside, not paying attention to the markets. On August 30th, 2 weeks ago today, HHS came out with their recommendation of Schedule 3. It's exactly what I said was going to happen. Exactly. I said, watch them do it. Watch them pull a full-blown crook criminal move and manipulate this, and they would do it during the August recess. And then what were all the comments and people saying to me in direct messages on all these platforms? Oh, I sold. I thought nothing was going to happen for a month, right? I thought lawmakers and everything, this is what they do, right? Basically, do the opposite of what you would think and like be the contrarian view, right? ACB deadline is September 20th to regain compliance. Yeah, and what do they do? Just do like a 1 for 14? 1 for 12. Yeah, and people are losing their ever-loving mind that CGC is going to do a potential 1 for 15. ACB did a 1 for 12, but I thought like reverse splits mean that companies are doomed and they'll never see upside. Well, they could be doing another reverse split. Okay, so they just did a 1 for 12. Yes, they went down, but it just, in the last 2 months, it's up 160%. Well, what's it doing up 160% if 1 for 12 reverse splits are bad? It doesn't change anything. It's a financial trick, right? The reason why they created stock splits is because when stocks get too expensive, like Amazon at 2,000, they do a regular stock split. They make it $100 or $200. They do it at the top. They don't do splits at the bottom. They do it at the top so they can use you, retail, as exit liquidity. That's exactly what they did on Tesla, and they'll continue to do it again and again. So why do they do reverse splits at the bottom? It's another trick so that they can stay listed on the NASDAQ and the NYSE. They're like, oh, we're running into all these compliance issues. Let's just create a new trick, and this will allow us to regain compliance, and it doesn't change anything. Market cap stays the same, price goes up, share count goes down. In a regular stock split, shares go up, price goes down, right? It doesn't change anything. The market cap's still the same, business is still the same, right? Doesn't change the balance sheet, doesn't change the fundamentals. Like, people just need to chill with the reverse stock splits. And if it happens on CGC, hopefully it doesn't. I don't think it will. It could. I would say it's like a 50-50 chance, right? So, yeah. And look, we just eclipsed the monthly volume from the all-time high in back in July. And we still got 16 days left in the day, in the candle. Wow. So they won't make it either an extension or a reverse split. What do you think? Yeah, they could. They'd probably do another reverse split, but to be honest, I think ACB could get acquired. More than likely. I mean, it'd be smart for them to do that. Hard to say. Like I said, I really have no interest in ACB whatsoever. I hate all their products. Never ever liked them. Never owned it. Do not like it at all. Nancy and Paul Pelosi should be behind you know what? Absolutely. $250,000 salary, Nancy Pelosi, she's worth $120 million. Okay. Pretty sure, I could look into their finances and realize like, oh, insider trading, insider trading, insider trading, 10 years, 20 years. Oh, you look at that. You have a lifetime sentence. Maps. Hello, everyone. What we were due for a pullback. You bet. It will go back up after a little consolidation. Yep, just healthy. OGI. Yeah, you guessed it. Maps. Oh, Canadian. Yeah, exactly. OGI will run, I guess. Next, I guess. Yeah, that's what I think too. And just give me 1 sec. I had something come through the Power Group private community. I just want to see if anybody else. Reza says, great show. Thank you for your insights. Love the comparison between the everything bubble and the .com bubble, and also agree with you the comments about Bitcoin. I was interested in what you thought about gold and silver because of DXY is going down, then it should look more bullish, but it doesn't. But I agree. It's like crypto is getting the attention for now. Yeah, exactly. And then once we go into a massive, correction on DXY, and then, like I said, the US dollar is going to fail. Like there's no, it's just, when is it going to fail? Is it going to be like 5, 10 years, 20 years? But essentially, I think it's going to be very, very bad. The US dollar is going to get inflated into oblivion. And, not to be a doomsday or anything like that. We're going to come out of the other side in the green, right? The world's not going to end. The U.S. economy isn't going to fail. They're just going to reset it with something, right? They took it off the gold standard and Nixon in the 60s, 70s, and then it was doomed to fail, right? Because it was backed by nothing. Anything that's a fiat currency that's backed by nothing, it fails 100% of the time, right? It has to. And they're just printing more of it. So, I think once we start to see like inflation running rampant, the U.S. dollar losing its reserve world currency, and there's a bunch of BRIC nations supposed to be joining BRICS. Saudi Arabia, which is biggest one of the big oil producers. So the petrodollar is threatened. This is all about the petrodollar. So once you start to see that the U.S. dollar is no longer the world reserve currency, and I think XRP could, because it's not controlled by anybody. How can hundreds of countries trust each other? We put a cryptocurrency that's based on mathematics that has no special permissions, nobody controls it, and we use that as a bridge to get in and out. And then that way they can trust everybody. There's no need to trust. Nostro Vostro account literally means like yours and mine, basically, I think it is. So Nostro Vostro account is pre-funded accounts that banks have to deal with each other. So if you're the United States dealing with Russia, well, these Nostro Vostro accounts and SWIFT and all this stuff makes it happen, these international payments, but the money has to be in there, right? So you have to trust everybody. Whereas crypto, doesn't matter if it drops 5% in a day or 20% in a week or 30% in a day, XRP settles with finality in 3 seconds. How much does the price change on XRP in 3 seconds? There's basically no volatility. Look, 48.35 cents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. XRP just settled when you sent it, and it didn't even switch. Right? So there's zero volatility. And then imagine whenever it has a market cap of $1 trillion, right? It takes a lot more to move it when it's worth $1 trillion. It takes $2 trillion to double it, right? Right now, it's only worth like 20, 30 billion. Well, easily could double it, right? So volatility gets less and less, just like Amazon, right? Takes way more time to, I got to go. Unfortunately, I won't be able to get to everybody, but I will skim through this real quickly here as we wrap up. Were you bullish on BTC before finding that out? Before finding what out? The Homeland Security and everything. Yeah, I was being naive and coming into the space, and like everybody, people hear Bitcoin, not crypto, and they think that the only thing in crypto is Bitcoin. And then you're like, oh, there's 20,000 other cryptocurrencies. And then, there's also other projects with different use cases. Like Bitcoin isn't looking to solve cross-border payments. Bitcoin isn't going to be the one to rule them all. It's just not possible, right? Look at that's like saying Amazon's going to run the whole tech industry. No, there's a bunch, right? And there's lots of room for them all to play, right? And they're all different businesses and models and use cases, right? Like Bitcoin might be a store of value, but in my opinion, there's just so much unknown about it. Imagine owning Amazon without knowing who created Amazon. Like that's just mind-baffling to me. It could be okay, right? But there's way more risk with it, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. Thanks, you bet. Not financial advice. Don't tell me where to buy, sell, or hold, but where do you think it's a good entry at OGI at these levels? I already have a position. Trying to average it down. I usually just buy, like when I buy, I add again 10% later. And then after I add from that lower 10%, I add again another 10%. That's kind of how I do it. I just continue to average down or to dollar cost average as we go down. But some people like to average up, where prices start to go up and they average up. Once we start to confirm weekly uptrends, maybe they look to add on a weekly high or low, use a stop loss. I'm not using any stop losses. I have MJ in a short-term account with a different game plan. I have it in a longer-term account with a lot less dollars. And that different game plan, that's to hold till U.S. legalization at the federal level. I'm not touching it. I don't even log in to look at it. But I have it in a shorter-term account as well in my RSP where I'll do a little bit more trades. So, like, for example, if Tilray in my long-term account, I won't be selling that until the U.S. legalizes. Whether that's $100 a share, $300 a share, it goes back to all-time highs, who cares? Not selling it until that catalyst happens. If Tilray goes to $10 in my RSP, I'll probably sell 50% and then rotate it into something else or look to buy cheaper, right? So different game plans. But yeah, I still think OGI is a great buy now. Or like I said, you could enter if we break, let me bring it up real quick, $2 USD. If we break $2 USD, we're probably heading up to like 250, if not maybe even, $3. So that's another way you could play it as well. Buy it if we break $2, because that would be monthly resistance breaking, and then we have no monthly resistance all the way up to 508 on the price action. So that's probably what I would say. My average is 254 USD or Canadian. Anyways, we'll have to continue that a little bit later. And again, if you consider joining POW Group, the private community, this is pretty much what I do for people all day, every day. And I just don't have enough time to do it like on here and then for private members and all the things else that I have on the go. You can even sign up for a 7-day free trial if you want to just email info@pursuitofwealthgroup.com. Go to powgroup.ca or pursuitofwealthgroup.com, hit contact us, and I can send you a 1 week free trial as well. You can come check it out. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. So MJ has had a brutal bear market since February 21. Yep. I bought CGC at 38 cents, hoping for a swing, made good money. So yeah, people need to stop complaining. Absolutely. Everybody's different. Hello, Rod. Thank you, and congratulations to you. Soon will be a father. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Jatinder. Will you please look at WBA for me? I wish I could, my friend. Thank you very much. I do have to run. I'm already 2 minutes over my committed time. I wanted to do this in an hour. I only have an hour. So I do have to run. But like I said, you can sign up for a 1 week free trial as well. And then I'll do another live stream here probably sometime at some point in the next week or two where I'll do a public live stream and we'll dedicate a little bit more time to this. You just send a text here for the appointment. Okay. You know what? Let's do it. Okay. WBA. What is that? Walgreens? Yeah, if you let me know the exchange as well, that definitely helps. So we do have support coming up here at 2029, and we hit a low of 2139. So yeah, this could be a nice entry here coming off monthly oversold. Look what happened last time we were monthly oversold. We went from like $28 all the way up to 50. So yeah, you could enter with a stop below $20. Maybe set your stop at like $19, $18, allow a little bit of wiggle room. Or you could enter on a flush of $20. That's probably what I would do, is start to scale in. But we have basically no monthly resistance all the way up to $40. So yeah, this is just one of those names, right? That, it's more of a safe bet. You're probably not going to become a millionaire on this thing. Again, unless you're putting $1 million and we go back to $40 and you turn that million into 2 million. But, it's pretty established too, being Walgreens. Or Walgreens Boots Alliance. Is this the right one? I'm not even sure what that is. Like Walgreens Boots Alliance. This isn't one I follow. Like Walgreens. I know Walgreens in the US. But is that their actual business name? I'm not sure. Must be. No problem. What's your retail company? Yeah, so it's a holding company, retail pharmacy. Yeah, so that's the one. That's what I'm thinking of. I'm in Canada, so I'm not as familiar with it, but yeah, I definitely shop there when I go to the US. Yes, yeah, so you could enter with a stop below $20 and coming off monthly oversold, but you could even maybe scale in with like one order now, one at 20, one with a flush at 20, and then, that's a way to play it as well, but it's definitely a little bit less risk and a little bit less reward, right? Those with more risk and more reward, like a CGC. But yeah, we're probably due to gravitate back here to that 10-week moving average around 26 bucks. We're getting pretty far away from it. And we generally look what happens on the, we get above, we come back, we get extended to the downside, we come back, we gravitate back towards it, confirm it as resistance, get above, confirm it as support, lose it, confirm resistance. So one would think we're probably going to trend back to that $30 mark at some point over the next couple of months. But I have no idea about the fundamentals of this thing. So I don't know, to my knowledge, for all I know, they could be like going bankrupt. I'm not saying they are, or like insolvent or something. Not saying they are, or they're like a big, maybe there's news out even today or yesterday that's causing this. It looks like it could be news driven. I just don't know enough about it fundamentally. But one would think we're probably going to trend back to that $30 if there's no like major bearish news or something concerning, right? Going concern or something like that. But yeah, it's looking like it could be heading back to 30 bucks in a pretty big hurry. Yeah, perfect. That's the one. Okay, cool. Well, hopefully that helps. Thank you, Rod. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining the live stream. Like I said, I know it's short notice, but yeah, Walgreens is interesting here for sure. See what we can see in the weekly time frame. Yeah, barely any weekly resistance until $30. That's what I would do. I would play it right now, and then no daily resistance either until 25 bucks. So yeah, I would probably enter it now and set a stop below the low there at what did I say it was, 20 bucks. So you could even do like $19 or like $18.75 or something like that, and then look to sell around 30 bucks. That's probably how I would play it, but again, not financial advice. Don't buy or sell anything because I say or write anything. It's just my own opinions, and that's just kind of what I'm seeing or what I would do if I were in your shoes, but I'm not. So now you need to make the decision. But yeah, playing off that $20 psychological and then setting a stop below 20, so like I said, 18, 19 bucks, somewhere around there, and then look to take profit around 30 bucks. I think that's a no-brainer. Hopefully that helps though, and we'll catch everybody another time. Hope you had a great day today, and hope you have a great evening. It's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth, and we'll see you again on the next video. Take care.